Okay. Good evening to one and all. This is the daily current affairs session brought to you by Ganesh IAS Academy for the date 10th June 2023, uh, which appeared in Indian Express newspaper. Okay, let's get straight into the current affairs session. First news is uh, there is a MSP, that is minimum support price hike, and what are its impact. This was the news that appeared in Indian Express. What the news is centered around is what does MSP means, and what are all the impact that it creates in the people, farmer, as well as the economy as the whole. Okay, see about the news. It is given that MSP, what is given in the news is, as I said, it is given what does MSP is, what does MSP mean? MSP are insure against crop by central as well as the state government in order to protect, act as a safety net or protect the farmers from any untoward incidents. Second is, another purpose of MSP is that it acts as the tools in the hands of policymaker, because whenever the government, whether it is state or center, wanted to promote a particular crop pattern in order to, for example, if they wanted to promote pulses, because pulses are drought resistant as well as nutritional, it has more number of nutritional components compared to other crops. So if the government wanted to promote these pulses, means they will be tweaking the MSP price in accordance, tweaking the MSP rate, so that farmers will be more inclined towards cultivating the pulses. Similar to that, based upon the idea or the concept which the central government or state government is having, they could able to tweak the policy, so that they could able to promote or depromote certain crops which is needed at a particular point of time. Third is, even though MSP are announced for a whole lot of crops, that but in implementation, that is in practical sense, only few crops are procured. That too, those crops, among the few crops, all the crops are not, among the few crops which are procured, all are not procured at equal rate. For example, there are three predominant crops which are procured, that is paddy, cotton, as well as pulses. Among them, 45% of those produce of the paddy will be, right now is getting procured by the central or state government. 25% of the produced cotton is procured by the central or the state government. Then 1 to 3% of the pulses are getting procured by the government. Another important point is, since MSP policy is whole, the minimum support MSP rate is for whole country only, but in implementation level, only few states are getting benefited, that is Punjab, Haryana, Western UP, Chhattisgarh, Telangana, Maharashtra and Kannada. Among these states only, the majority of the procurement are happening. Another important point is, in Indian agriculture, since India's agriculture is produces disguised employment, so the agriculture sector is not remunerative to the farmers. So by providing MSP, it can act as a cushion, that is it can give farmers a certain incentives in order to continue the farming activities. Another important point is, MSP hike sometimes leads to consumer inflation. As we all know, CACP, that is the recommendatory body of MSP policy, as well as the central government, will ensure that whenever they are announcing a MSP rate means they will be taking into account several lot of criteria as we discussed in the previous news paper session. Among that, one of the important consideration which the government will consider is the inflation, whether the price hike which the government is giving to the farmers will have any impact on the consumer or the people, those who are paying to get the product from the market. ஸோ கவர்மெண்ட் வந்து அதையும் கன்சிடர் பண்ணுவாங்க. ஸோ இது ஒரு ரெண்டுத்துக்குமான பேலன்ஸ் வச்சு தான் கவர்மெண்ட் வந்துட்டு எம்எஸ்பி ரேட்டை வந்து டிசைட் பண்ணுவாங்க. Another point which was mentioned as news is right now the cost, the input cost for the farmers across India வந்து பார்த்தீங்க அப்படின்னா ஒரு ஆவரேஜ் அவுட் பண்ணி பார்த்தோம் அப்படின்னா இட் கம்ஸ் அரௌண்ட் 6.8%. ஸோ த ரைஸ் ஆஃப் 7% ஹைக் இன் தி எம்எஸ்பி ரேட் வில் ஏபிள் டு வாட் டு சே, ஒரு இன்புட் காசு மட்டும் தான் எடுக்கிற ஒரு சூழ்நிலை இருக்கேகண்டி இட் ஒன்ட் கிரியேட் எனி கைண்ட் ஆஃப் மேஜர் கன்சியூமர் பிரைஸ் இன்ஃப்ளேஷன்ன்றது தான் இந்த நியூஸில் வந்து they have said. Another important point is higher MSP and more procurement leads to negative impact. This another, because whenever government spends whole lot of money in subsidy as well as procurement means it is a kind of revenue expenditure. Revenue expenditure means government can't able to expect any kind of return in the form of asset or interest. So since this kind of expenditure belongs to revenue expenditure, government will have lesser amount of money to spend it on capital expenditure, as a result of which government will be borrowing, which in turn leads to a deficit for the country. So these are all the news, these are all the important content which appeared in the news. So since the news centers around MSP, we should know what is MSP is about. As I said, as well as mentioned in the news, MSPs act as insure against the farm produce. It is announced by central government before the RO season. It is recommended by Commission for Agriculture Cost and Price, that is CACP. It is only a recommendatory body, but the decision to the MSP price fixation will be done by central government only. There are 22 crops are covered in it. Among them 14 are kharif crops, 2 are rabi crops, 6 are rabi crops, 2 are commercial crops. So we could say that more number of kharif crops are covered compared to the rabi as well as the commercial crops. This could be this fact would be a prelims fact. So this is the news. So in order to go one step ahead, போயிட்டு நம்ம என்ன இந்த நியூஸ்ல என்ன இருக்குன்றத நம்ம செக் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னா, first of all we have to know what is the reason behind government எதுக்கு வந்து கவர்மெண்ட் MSP அனௌன்ஸ் பண்றாங்க, apart from saving the farmers from untoward incident. Another major important objective is right now இந்தியாவோட ஃபுட் செக்யூரிட்டி, இந்தியாவோட ஹங்கர் ப்ராப்ளம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இட்ஸ் ஒன் ஆஃப் தி மேஜர், more people are facing hunger problems in India. So in order to reduce the hunger problem, government is procuring these crops from the farmers and delivering it to the people at a subsidized rate through the PDS shop. So the whole lot of mechanism runs around the procurement as well as the disbursement of the products to the consumers. So in the system பேர் தான் PDS system, public distribution system. So in the public distribution system பத்தி we have to know. Second is what is Operation Green Scheme. So we all know that most of the crops that covered under the MSP is kharif, rabi as well as commercial crop, but there are only few or less number of perishable crops are covered. So in order to fill that vacuum, government is running a scheme called Operation Green Scheme. Under this scheme, government will be as having two types of goals, that is short term as well as long term goal. Under short term goal, they wanted to reduce the wastage of top products, that is top means tomato, onion as well as potato. Long term goal of the scheme is to enrich the efficiency of supply chain activity from the farm to the fork in this three products, that is tomato, onion as well as potato. But after COVID-19, government has enlarged the basket of goods which could be considered under this scheme. For example, for the short term goal which is one of the component of the scheme, government is in apart from top products, that is tomato, onion, potato, government is also including all fruits as well as other perishable goods in it. And in long term products, there are uh, in long term component of the operation green scheme la பாத்தீங்க அப்படின்னா the top products தவிர்த்து கவர்மெண்ட் வந்துட்டு இன்னொரு 22 perishable products கவர்மெண்ட் இன்க்ளூட் பண்ணிருக்காங்க அதோட basket of goods which they wanted to promote. So in order to save the farmers from the negative return which is getting from the cultivation of those crops. Third is Sampada scheme, which is also one of the holistic scheme of government of India, comes under Ministry of Food Processing Industry. Under this scheme, government wanted to see it has whole lot of sub schemes, so we should know about it in order to promote the food processing and industry in India. So on the scheme பத்தியும் நம்ம தெரிஞ்சு வச்சுக்கணும். So another is PM Kisan scheme. PM Kisan scheme is to provide some what to say, to provide to the farmers பாத்தீங்க farmersக்கு ஒரு input products purchase பண்றதுக்கான ஒரு scheme இது. So these are all the things these are all the areas which we needed to study further apart from the MSP, because these are all the schemes as well as the system which are there to what to say, protect and protect the farmers as well as helps the farmers to reach the double income, which is the ideal goal of government of India. One minute. Yes, let's continue. Second news which came in the Indian Express is El Nino, that is national Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration of United States has predicted that this year the Pacific Ocean is going to face El Nino. So El Nino is one of the important geographical factors, geographical as well as atmospheric factor which appears in Pacific Ocean. This will have a great impact on the monsoon of India. So monsoon of right now India is agriculture economy. Most of the population's livelihood depends upon the agriculture economy. This agriculture depends upon the monsoon rainfall. So this El Nino will have effect on monsoon. This monsoon will have effect on the economy, major part of the economy, that is in agriculture of India, as a result of which the livelihood of the people will also get பாதிக்கப்படும். livelihood of people livelihood பார்த்தீங்கன்னா it will get disturbed. So what so இது நம்ம என்னன்றத the news first, this is what is mentioned in the news. They have said what is El Nino, that is water of surface of eastern Pacific Ocean gets warmed up, that is near the Peruvian coast, South America will get warmed up unusually, as a result of which the warmer moves from west to east, from Indonesia to Western America, because of the pressure difference by the intensity. In the context of in the context of India, over the last 100 years, there has been 18 droughts have happened. Of this, 13 were associated to El Nino. So this is the news. So in order to go one step deeper into the news, and we have to identify what are all the things which we needed to study, so that we could have a comprehensive view about the news. அதில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஃபர்ஸ்ட் நம்ம what we should know about what is El Nino. El Nino, that is El Nino during El Nino phenomenon. Consider this as the South American continent. There will be some untoward high temperature will be happening in the southern coast of South America, western coast of South America, that is Eastern Pacific. This is Australia. So because of lower pressure, that is higher temperature, means the air will expand, the pressure will get decreased. So the air will be rushing towards eastern side. So there will be more rainfall, floods will be occurring at the western coast of western coast of South America, that is eastern side of Pacific Ocean. Since the air is rushing towards low pressure region, this area will be having high pressure region. As a result of high pressure region, the interior part of the Australian continent will be experiencing not only interior part of Australian continent, but also the Asian continent will be having some high pressure condition, that is drought like condition. Since the drought like condition occurs here, there won't be any kind of movement of air will be taking place from the Asian to Southeast Asian, or African continent to Indian subcontinent, because most of the air will be traveling towards eastern side of the Pacific Ocean. So India will be facing a drought like situation because of lack of moisture that is present in the southern part of the hemisphere, that is in African as well as Southeast Asian, as well as in Australian continent, that is oceanic continent. This is what called El Nino, and this is what happened when the El Nino comes, means this is what this in the effect தான் வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா நம்ம இந்தியன் மான்சூன்ல அது இருக்கும். So water circulation gets disturbed, that is water circulation gets disturbed, that is for example, consider this as the Australia, and this as the South America. During the normal condition, what happens is this side will be having high pressure, that is colder current, as well as the ocean temperature will be very less, as a result of which the pressure will be very high. Here the temperature will be very low, so that the pressure will be temperature will be very high, so that the pressure will be very low, as a result of which the air will be rushing towards them. So this cycle is called water circulation, because of which the Indian subcontinent, that is what I mentioned, because of which Indian Ocean develops high pressure, and which reduce the movement of air towards the southwest part of India. That is, as I said, because of the movement of air towards the eastern side of the Pacific Ocean, since அது வந்து வார்மர் ஆனதுனால எல்லா ஏரும் வந்துட்டு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஈஸ்டர்ன் சைட் ஆஃப் த பெசிபிக் ஓஷனோட ரஷ் ஆகி போகிறதுனால there won't be any kind of air available for the available along with the there won't be any kind of air that moves towards the southwest India, as a result of which a drought will be occurring because of the lack of rainfall. So what we needed to study further. So apart from El Nino, we should have clear understanding about Indian Ocean dipole and what is Madame Julian oscillation, what are the different types of ocean and which is smallest as well as largest. That is Indian Ocean dipole is, so dipole is like a physics concept, physics concept, that is two types of poles, the north as well as south pole. For example, this is the South African coast and this is the say Australian coast. This is West Indian Ocean, this is western part of Indian Ocean, this is eastern part of Indian Ocean. For example, whenever there is a high pressure, low pressure here means correspondingly there will be high pressure here, because since the heat, இப்போ பார்த்தீங்க அப்படின்னா ஹீட் வந்துட்டு இங்கே பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் த ஈஸ்டர்லி கரண்ட் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஹீட் சென்டரில் இருக்க ஹீட் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா மூவ் ஆகி இட் வில் பி ரீச்சிங் தி ஈஸ்டர்ன் சைட் ஆஃப் தி ஈஸ்டர்ன் ஆஃப்ரிக்கன் சைட் ஆஃப் ரீஜன் வந்துடும். ஸோ அங்கே வந்து லோ ப்ரெஷர் ஃபார்ம் ஆகும். as a result of which the air இங்கே there will be vacuum of water. The water which is below air will be getting filled up here. This is called upwelling region. So here the pressure will be low. The pressure, since the underwater, since the water are getting accumulated here, there won't be any kind of water here. So there will be some ஒரு சின்ன வேக்யூம் கிரியேட் ஆகும். இந்த தண்ணி இங்க வந்து அடிச்சிட்டு வரதுனால கீழே இருக்க தண்ணி எல்லாம் வந்து இங்க போக ஆரம்பிக்கும். As we all know, in ocean only the topmost part only பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஹாட்டா இருக்கும். அண்ட் கீழே இருக்க லேயர் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா that is below thermocline layer. Thermocline is the boundary between the hot vessel as well as the cooler layer. இந்த thermocline layer கீழே பார்த்தீங்கன்னா sudden drop in temperature ஆகும். அது கீழே இருக்க தண்ணி ரொம்ப கூலரா இருக்கும். அந்த தண்ணி எல்லாம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா it will fill the vacuum which is happening in the eastern side of the Indian Ocean. So the cooler water வந்துட்டு high pressure இருக்கும், இது வந்து low pressure இருக்கும். இந்த process பேரு upwelling. So suppose consider India is here. So the low pressure will lead to convection. So in the convection or air pathina, because of the low pressure already present in the Indian subcontinent, it will rush towards the southwestern part of India. It will support the monsoon season. So it is called as positive dipole. For example, whenever there is a reverse happens, that is here it is high pressure, here it is low pressure, means here the water will be, here the convection will take place, and that from since there is high pressure, there is subsidence taking place in the Australian eastern side of South of African continent. பார்த்தீங்கன்னா subsidence நடக்கும். So இந்த இடம் drought இருக்கும். There won't be any kind of moisture which will be traveling towards the southwestern part of India. So இது பார்த்தீங்கன்னா negative dipole. This negative dipole will bring drought like situation to India. It won't support monsoon. This is called Indian Ocean dipole. Second is Madame-Julian oscillation. That is Madame-Julian oscillation is the global phenomenon. That is it will be rotating around the world. For example, it will take some 30 to 60 days to rotate around the world. It will have two phases, that is enhanced phase, that is highly conventional rainfall phases, and another one is depression phase, that is high pressure phase. It will Madame-Julian oscillation will be divided into these two phases. Whenever the Madame-Julian oscillation is present in the Indian Ocean, there will be a kind of, since the convection is present in the Indian Ocean, means அதாவது இது இந்தியன் ஓஷன்ல இருக்கும் போது பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இட் வில் சப்போர்ட் த மான்சூன் பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் த convection current, that is which takes place due to the lower pressure. Lower pressure means higher temperature of the ocean, so it will support the monsoon season support பண்ணும். For example if it is present in the இது ஒரு சினாரியோ. இப்போ இது வந்துட்டு பெசிபிக் ஓஷன்ல கொஞ்சம் லாங்கரா ஸ்டே பண்ணுச்சு அப்படின்னா there won't be any kind of enhanced convection or depression that will be happening in the Indian Ocean. So the Indian Ocean will be facing drought-like situation. As a result of it, there won't be any kind of moisture present in the Indian Ocean to support the monsoon season. This is called Madame-Julian oscillation. So we should know what are the different types of ocean: Arctic Ocean, Pacific Ocean, Indian Ocean. அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு இருக்கு எத்தனை டைப் ஓஷன் இருக்கு, which is the biggest as well as the smallest as well as the largest ocean that is present around the globeல இருக்குன்றதை நான் பார்த்து வச்சுக்கணும். Third important news that appeared today is news related to G20 summit. So we will look into the content of the news. See, so India's goal in G20 presidency is inclusive, ambitious and action oriented. That is, India's inclusive approach in G20 is extension of domestic policy of human centered. That is, India follows what they are saying this, India is following inclusive, ambitious and action oriented policy in the G20, which is the result of the inclusive, ambitious and action oriented policy followed in the domestic policy. For example, what they are mentioning is what the editorial says is India's digital public infrastructure is developed to deliver the benefit of development directly to the citizen in all part of the country in transparent, smooth and corruption free manner. Second is Jan Dhan Yojana to benefit women particularly, that is 56% of the Jan Dhan accounts holder are women, with 67% of these accounts based in rural and semi-urban areas. Third is more than 110 million households are provided access to drinking water at their homes and sanitation facility have been provided. So these are all the steps India is taking domestically in order to promote the inclusive development in India. So the same like policy is in India because of the experience in domestic policy. India is also following the policy in the G20 same like policy in the G20 presidency அப்படின்னு இந்த நியூஸ் பேப்பர்ல சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. For example, what kind of inclusive policy that is India is following in the G20 அப்படின்னு பார்த்தோம் அப்படின்னா, see, India calls for pro-planet paper movement in the climate change, which is the basic thing where everyone needed to change their lifestyle in order to contribute to the development of activities the government is doing in order to reduce the climate related disaster in the world. Second is India under Vaccine Maitri program shared more than 150 shared vaccine to more than 150 countries. So this is also a kind of inclusive program that is India is following in the global area because of the experience as well as the policy, similar like policy which is followed in the domestic area, that is in India. Likewise, India gives importance to in G20. India is focusing on women-led development. India's increased, so India is emphasizing on increased participation of African countries and other non-G20 countries. And India is also taking people as one of their stakeholders in their G20 meet. So these are all the content which appeared in the news. So we have to get deeper one step into the news to know what are all the factual as well as the conceptual part which is involved in the news. First is we should know what is digital India mission. That is Digital India mission. It enables India to transform to a digitally empowered society and knowledge economy. It has three programs. That is providing digital infrastructure as a utility. Utility means a basic necessity to every citizen by giving by increasing the um, technologies available to the citizen, as well as increasing the digital connectivity to citizen, so that they will be able to smooth uh, how to say, yeah, which is which is which directly improves the uh, eases the life of the citizen. Second is governance and service on demand. That is, they wanted to digitalize the entire governance process as well as the service which the government is providing to the citizen, so that there could be transparency as well as reduction in corruption will be taking place. Third is, whenever there is implementation of digital project, there will be a digital divide that will be happening. So in order to avoid it, third program focuses on people should be digitally empowered. So digitally empower our government will be making some projects, schemes, so that the digital divide close ஆகிறதுக்கான வழிவகுக்கும். So these are all the vision that the Digital India program mission has. It function under Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, that is MeitY. Second is Jandan Yojana. What is Jandan Yojana? That is, it ensures people from every walk of life to have a basic financial service like basic savings account, access to credit, remittance facility, insurance and pension to the excluded section. That is excluded section to the weaker section and will lower income group. These are all the objectives which are promoted through Jandan Yojana by creating bank account to the people. In addition, beneficiaries would get RuPay debit card having an inbuilt accident insurance cover of 1 lakh. The plan also includes channeling all the government benefits to the beneficiary accounts through bank, that is through the bank account which is created under Jandan Yojana. Another important thing we have to know is about Jal Jeevan Mission. Jal Jeevan Mission provides safe and adequate drinking water through individual household tap connection by 2024 to all households in the rural India. Second is, it implements source suitability. Source suitability means sustainability. Source sustainability means the source from which the water is drawn should be sustainable. அதுக்கு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா they are using recharge as well as reusing grey water management system, promoting water conservation and promoting rainwater harvesting in the areas, in the ground. They are focusing on community approach. That is, they are sensitizing the people and wanted people's contribution into the mission, because with the help of people's contribution they could able to enhance the water conservation program, rainwater harvesting program, and also they could able to easily implement the recharge and reuse of grey water management system. And it is being implemented by Department of Water and Sanitation. Why this mission will be directly helpful for the women, those particularly in rural areas, because we all know that most of the household work in the rural areas will be done by women. Among that household work, one of the important work is fetching water from the natural water resource like ponds, rivers, etc. So women will be traveling with the barefoot from their home to the water source area in order to fetch the water for the household chores, as well as to run their day-to-day life in the area, in the village. So what we needed to study further. So we should know about what is Swachh Bharat scheme, that is sanitation scheme government of India is promoting in order to reduce the open defecatory behavior of people by building the toilet to the every household present in the country. So we have to look into what are all the ministry involved in uh, implementing the mission. அப்படின்றதையும் we have to look into it. Second is we have to know about multidimensional poverty index னா என்னன்னு பார்க்கணும். Since these policies centers around making making people's life very easy, so that the standard of living could be increased. ஸோ இப்போ அவங்களோட கரண்ட் ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் ஆஃப் லிவிங் என்னன்றது நம்ம தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும் அப்படின்னா we should know about what is multi-dimensional poverty index, what are all the indicators, what are the indicators has been followed in multi-dimensional poverty index என்றதையும் நம்ம தெரிஞ்சு வச்சுக்கணும். Third is periodic labor force survey of NSSO, and there are many other programs related to inclusive growth, because inclusive growth does not only focus upon on the financial as well as the social sanitation or drinking water sector. It also focuses on social sector like health, education, insurance, and economics, other economic sector like promoting MSMEs and promoting industries, so on and so forth. So we have to have a whole lot of comprehensive idea about what are all the other programs. So in order to அது தெரிஞ்சுக்கிட்டோம் அப்படின்னா, so will having a clear understanding about the government of what are all the things which are done by the government in order to promote inclusive growth in each and every sector in India. ISRO to launch Chandrayaan-3 by mid July. Somnath, that is ISRO chairman, has said that ISRO is planning to launch the Chandrayaan-3 by mid July. This was the news mentioned in the Indian Express. So content of the news என்னன்றதை பார்ப்போம். India plans to launch Chandrayaan-3 by mid July. ISRO developed a new test facility for its semi cryogenic engine because of lack of access to the facility that is present in the Russia and Ukraine. எதுக்கு எப்படி ஏன் வந்து அந்த இடத்த அக்சஸ் பண்ண முடியல, as we all know, because of the war. So we have to know what is Chandrayaan-3 is about. Chandrayaan-3 is a follow-on mission of Chandrayaan-2 for safe landing as well as roving on lunar surface. It will be launched by LVM-3, that is Launch Vehicle Mark 3 from Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota, and it has 3 types of module. One that is propulsion module, and another is lander module, another is rover module. In that proportional module will be carrying the lander as well as the rover. So what is LVM-3, Launch Vehicle Mark 3? Previously it is called as GSLV Mark 3, that is Geosynchronous Satellite Launch Vehicle Mark 3. It is 3-stage launch vehicle. It is important facts. 3-stage launch vehicle with 3rd stage is cryogenic engine. The first 2 stage belongs to solid as well as liquid engine. So this is the news that is mentioned. This is the news as well as the interior of the news that we are இப்போ ஒன்றுன்றதை பார்த்தோம். So what we needed to see further, so that we will be having comprehensive view about the mission as well as the overall idea of the ISRO அப்படின்னா, we should know what is New Space India Limited, in space Antrix Corporation, which is one of the important policy of ISRO to promote the private. These are all the public sector undertaking of ISRO, which is aimed towards increasing the private participation in the space related activities, so that the benefit of the space related activities would be reaching the last mile people. So what are all the ISRO facilities in India and their location அப்படின்றதையும் it is mentioned in the ISRO website itself. So we should know about. Third is what are all the different types of orbits: polar orbit, geosynchronous orbit, ஸ்டேஷனரி ஆர்பிட். அது அப்படின்னா என்ன, எவ்வளோ ஒவ்வொரு ஆர்பிட்டுக்கும் எவ்வளோ டிஸ்டன்ஸ், அப்படி ஒவ்வொரு ஆர்பிட்டுக்கான ஸ்பெஷாலிட்டி என்ன, வாட் ஆர் ஆல் த லான்ச் வெஹிக்கிள் யூஸ் டு கேரி டு பிளேஸ் த சேட்டலைட் இன் தோஸ் ஆர்பிட், we should be knowing it, so that we could have the comprehensive idea about what are ISRO activities as well as the ISRO activity பற்றி ஹோலிஸ்டிக் ஐடியா தெரியும். ஸ்பெசிஃபிக்காகவும் சந்திராயனை பற்றி இன்னும் முழு விவரம் தெரிஞ்சுக்க இந்த ஐடியாஸ், these things will be useful for us. So see, will bring regulation for AI to keep digital citizens safe, minister says. What is the news is related to this? Right now there is agitation that because of the increased development that is taking place in the artificial intelligence, there is what to say, there is agitation that these artificial intelligence might be replacing the human activities or human related work in India. As a result of which, in India, not only in India but also in globally, as a result of which there could be more unemployment will be happening. அப்படின்ற ஒரு அஜிடேஷன் வந்து எல்லா பாலிசி மேக்கர்ஸ் as well as Indian policy makers as well as the global policy makers இருக்கு. So the Ministry of State for Electronics and Electronics as well as IT has clarified that the potential of AI to replace the worker is very less now, but can have potential to, but they could develop into a human replacing potential in near future, that is in 5 to 10 years down the line. Now AI is capable of, so this could be prelims fact, now AI is capable of only increasing efficiency of particular work, but after 5 years only they are expecting that it could be able to do logic as well as reason related works, that is thinking like humans with logically as well as reasonably, rather than being a machine which process input and giving the output. So we have to know what does Web3s mean. Currently there is a talk of Web3, a terminology called Web3 is revolving around. So first we have to know what is Web1 and Web2, so that we could able to easily understand what is Web3. Web1 is nothing but a World Wide Web, which is used to connect to the internet. It is a kind of web application designed through HTML. அதில் பார்த்தீங்க அப்படின்னா there will be it is a kind of internet web browser through which we could able to access files, programs, so on and so forth. So basic bare minimum datas மட்டும் தான் நம்மளால access பண்ண முடியும். But in Web 2 there is another that browser or in the connectivity level got enhanced, that is we could able to form a social media platform, that is we could able to form friends through internet, and most of the applications are centralized, as a result of which the data which is collected through the internet will be used by the centralized big companies. They will be selling those data to earn some profit. And there is a development called there was a development of smartphones, as a result of which there was a development of apps through which we could able to access as well as form social communication, interact and produce data, make data and monetize the data. So these are the things which comes under Web 2. But in case of Web 3, the technology will be decentralized, that is people could be able to control their own data. Right now the corporations, big corporations are controlling our data, but in Web 3 it will be decentralized, that is people could be able to control their own data, make extensive use of blockchain technologies. It makes extensive use of blockchain technology as well as artificial intelligence and machine learnings. People can control the data, as I said that when the application is getting decentralized, they could decentralized means the data will be accessible at the at the reach of the hand itself, so that the people could control the data. Transactions that is happening in the browsers will be transparent because of the usage of blockchain technology. Ubiquity. Ubiquity means the internet will be accessible from anywhere through any platform or any device. That this was simply initially achieved by Web 2. Because of the invention of smartphones, we could able to um, access from anywhere through any platform and any device. But it will go one step deeper. It will enable all the systems could be accessed through internet. It could be TV, it could be AC, it could be refrigerator, it could be grinder, it could be washing machine, so on and so forth. All the products could be able to accessed or monitored using the internet. Will be these things will be connected through the internet. These things could be accessed from anywhere through any platform or any device by using those. இப்போ வெறும் ஃபோன் வச்சு தான் நம்ம வந்து அக்சஸ் பண்ணுறோம். எங்கேருந்து வேணாலும் பண்ணலாம், எந்த பிளாட்ஃபார்ம்ல இருந்து இது பண்ணுற மாதிரி இருக்கு. அது இன்னும் ஒன் ஸ்டெப் உள்ள போய் எனி டிவைஸ், திஸ் இஸ் வாட் த இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் வேர்ட், எனி டிவைஸ் த்ரூ எனி பிளாட்ஃபார்ம் த்ரூ எவ்ரிவேர் எனிவேர். This is the another major breakthrough which is going to happen in the Web3 technology. So another important thing we have to know, so that we could have a clear understanding about the technology growth that is happening around the world. You should know about blockchain technology. Right now there is a buzzword called ChatGPT. What is ChatGPT? What are all the developments that is taking place? What is Industry 4.0? What is Internet of Things? Idellame we have to know, so that we could able to have fair understanding about the happenings that is taking place around the world in relation to the technology. So we will get into the previous year questions which was asked in relation to the topic that appears today. First is, see, consider the following it is the 2018 prelims question. In that they have given a set of products, that is areca nut, barley, coffee, finger millet, groundnut, sesame, turmeric. The Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, that is the government, has announced the MSP for which of the above. So the turmeric will not be coming and areca nut will not be coming. So if we eliminate these two means, the answer will be B. Answer is B. So barley is there, coffee is there, finger millet is there, groundnut is this. Coffee is not there because coffee will be handled by separate board, coffee board. It won't come under MSP. Finger millet, groundnut as sesame. So மீதி என்ன ப்ராடக்ட்ஸ் இருக்கு? 14 rabi crops, 14 kharif crops, 6 rabi crops, 2 commercial crops பார்த்தோம் இல்லையா? அது என்னென்ன ப்ராடக்ட்ஸ்ன்றத சும்மா நம்ம தெரிஞ்சு வச்சிருக்கிறதுனால. Because this year also they have asked a question related to Niger seeds. 2023 prelims question, what they asked is, Government of India provides MSP to the Niger seeds. Yes, the statement is correct. Government is providing MSP to the Niger seeds. So என்னென்ன ப்ராடக்ட்ஸ்லாம் தராங்கன்றத சும்மா நம்ம go through பண்ணி வச்சுக்கிட்டோம்னா it could able to solve the prelims question if there is any question related to MSP. Second is Indian Ocean Dipole. So நம்ம பார்த்தோம், Indian Ocean Dipole sometimes mentioned in the news while forecasting Indian monsoon. Which one of the following statements are correct? Indian Ocean Dipole is characterized by difference in sea surface temperature between tropical Western Indian Ocean and the tropical Eastern Indian Ocean. Eastern Pacific Ocean. No, that statement is wrong. As we have seen that. So this is the Australia, Africa. This is Australia. So the heat will be present here. Heat means when the Indian Ocean, whenever a particular place is very hot, means there will be a low pressure. Because of the low pressure, there will be convection and related rainfall will be taking place. So because of the trade winds, easterly winds, this heat will be moved towards here. So now it arrives here. That's it. As a result of which the water will be moved towards here, it will be colder. Because of this difference, because of the heat present here, as well as the related rise of moisture above, it will move towards the southwestern part of the southwestern Indian region, which supports the monsoon. So we all know that this region belongs to Indian Ocean. This is Western Indian Ocean and this is Eastern Indian Ocean. Since the question is related to the range is from Western Indian Ocean to tropical Eastern Pacific, that statement is wrong. Second is Indian Ocean phenomenon can influence an El Nino impact on the monsoon. Select the select the answer using the code below. An IOD phenomenon, that is Indian Ocean dipole phenomenon, can influence El Nino is impact. Yes, that statement is correct. Third question, which I want those students, those who are watching it in the online, I want those students, those who are watching it in the online, to please comment below the answer for this question, which we discussed in the previous slide. It was asked and the 2022 prelims. So with reference to Web3 technology, consider the following statement. Web3 technology enables people to control their own data. In Web3 world, there can be blockchain-based social networks. Web3 is operated by collective rather than corporations. Can be used collectively by users collectively rather than corporation. I want students, please comment the answer for this question below, and also if there is any kind of explanation, please comment it so that it could be useful for other students who could be able to learn from those comments. So lastly, finally, I will end the session with the mains question in relation to the news which we seen in the previous slides. What characteristics can be assigned to monsoon climate that succeeds in feeding more than 50% of the one population residing in the monsoon Asia? 2017 GS1 question this is. That is in relation to geography. So I want for this question also, the aspirants or students, those who are watching the current affair or daily current affair videos, in the question, please do comment answer or stock point for the question which is mentioned here, so that people, those who are giving stock points, could நிறைய students கொடுக்கறதுனால என்ன ஆகும்னா, one student could able to learn from other student, so that they could able to know the viewpoint of other students which they haven't known right now. அப்படி அந்த மாதிரி போகும்போது தான் there will be some enriching of points will be happening. So please do comment the answer point for this mains question as well as the previous prelims question which I mentioned. So thank you. So all the aspirants, please do comment as well as subscribe in order to get the daily notification in relation to the video which the Ganesh IAS Academy is posting in the YouTube channel related to UPSC Civil Service examination. Thank you.